Reaction now with Chris Hobbs joining us in the studio, retired police officer who I think I'm right with saying was with the Met for 32 years.
Indeed.
So you've seen it all and heard it all, I guess, over that time.
Done quite a lot. It was a good 32 years overall.
And what was your vetting procedure? Can you remember what happened when you went through that process?
Just about. I went through two vetting procedures.
Really?
The first one was when I joined, filling a form out, employees, referees, interviews.
As you would do with any job.
Exactly. Yeah. They came round my house to see how I was going, see whether I was suitable. But more importantly, I then went on to join Special Branch, which was, or required, developed vetting. Now, if we want a thorough system of vetting that the inspectorate clearly are after, it's developed vetting.
Right, and because obviously you would be dealing with quite sensitive issues within Special Branch.
But it was thorough.
Right.
They pulled you apart piece by piece. They looked at everything, including personal relationships, including your finances, including debts, everything. So
in your view, should that be carried out for every PC? Because that sounds as if it's going to be quite a time-consuming, intensive business.
Well, I've suggested this and been shot down in flames purely because... Not because it wouldn't work as such, but because it would be hugely expensive and time-consuming, and you would need to recruit a whole load of people to whichever vetting agency carried out the vetting. At the moment, individual police forces carry it out, and you have to say there are concerns in the police service from all levels and retired police.
What, the old boy network?
Very much so, but since the cutbacks, that training, recruitment, vetting have all suffered hugely, and to a certain extent we're paying the price, but whether the situation is as grave as is being painted is another question that hopefully you'll let me answer.
What, because people are quite ready to attack police forces, the Met particularly, over these issues, or?
I think that's right. I think the unfortunate part about today, or the publication, is that the way the media interpret it, and at least you're giving me a chance to have a go back, is the fact that every police officer, or almost every police officer you meet, is racist, misogynist, corrupt, and that makes life very difficult for the police officers, especially this time of year, Halloween, Guy Fawkes, they're very vulnerable, and it's not true. And I think that's what police officers on the rank and file are saying. Yes, there are people who shouldn't be in the police, who vetting should have weeded out. Right. But they're in, something needs to be done, but the majority still do a fantastic job.
But one of the particular problems is that some of these, or quite a few of the complaints, are coming from within the police service itself, from serving female officers, talking about this culture, particularly again at the Met.
That's right. You also see that in that report it does say situation has improved. Right. Now, I think every female officer that I've worked with, and probably every female officer serving, will be able to point to misogynistic behaviour that they have encountered. And it shouldn't be like that, and I think things are improving, and most officers are not misogynists. There are, in the police, there are relationships, obviously, male and female police officers form relationships, and so the real question that I think needs to be asked is, at the end of their 30-year service, 25 years, do most female officers say that the majority of male officers I worked with were both professional and trustworthy? Right. And
obviously over that period, attitudes do change as well, I guess. That's the other issue over 20 or 30 years.
That's right, but I certainly didn't encounter mass misogyny, as it were, amongst male officers. And I like to think, and I know some of the female officers I work with that have done their 30 years would say, yes, we knew. A couple of quite bad incidents I can remember. But overall, most male officers are professional and trustworthy.
Chris, thanks for joining us and redressing